I seriously love the fact and thank my lucky stars that there's nothing I can say that is bad about this movie. It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. And like, you know, him working off the book, I remember him saying in the interview I was watching in the documentary, where he was saying it was a book from his childhood that he loved so much. You know, using that as a big portion of the script to, you know, like that's a hard feat to do. And when you see how hard it was for him to do it, all the, you know, it would drive normal people insane. And to think that one person could do so much and make it so meaningful, it just really, you know, it just brings me to awe. Especially seeing how, in most cases, when they do that from book to movie, they don't really follow the lines. A lot of directors and everything, by the time it gets to movie stage, just like First Blood, it's oftentimes completely different, or majority of it is different, and they add their own things in there. So to see someone actually stick to the source material and really go the extra mile with it, and even go beyond it in some points, I would say it's just a master of film. Like, it's up there with the greats, for me anyway. It was just really enjoyable 2 hours where I was just totally lost and brought back to my youth. And I just can't thank you enough for that, Zach. Really, it's awesome. Like, the small differences that you have traded for some of the steps that go beyond. And I won't spoil it, but you guys will probably know what I mean after you watch the movie, if you've read the book or have seen the book review that I did a couple of episodes back. But like, it just works. It just works on so many levels, and it's just amazing to see something so simple, even though it was hard to do. But it's often the simplest ideas we come up with that make for the best things, you know, like the best experiences. So I loved it. I loved it so much. I can't say enough good things. It's just straightforward. The whole movie is just straightforward. And the things that are complicated from the book work their way in a certain way, which I'll get around to explaining soon. So I guess this is going to bring us to parts I liked and the parts I loved about this feature. And there are so many that they completely outweigh anything we were just talking about before in the small difference section. Like, wow, prepare to have your mind blown. And I repeat, I'm gonna try not to spoil it for you. So this is probably my only spoil-free review. So let's get to things I loved and things I liked. So, in spoiler-free fashion, things I liked, and there's so many things that I liked about this movie that I don't even know if we have enough time to cover all of them. But as you can tell right now, that it's been pretty lengthy getting into it. So, you know, it's going to be a long episode. But you know what? That's great, because it's a great episode. And it's a great movie. And it's a great director. And it's a great feat of accomplishment. So, come on, kids, sit down by the campfire, and I'm going to tell you some of the really cool things to look forward to in this movie without giving too much of it away. Here we go. You know, I really hope YouTube, you know, extends the time limit per video, because some of these are going to be really long. Take into consideration the book review, 13 parts, almost all of them, almost 15 minutes, almost. I don't know. Maybe I'll become a partner one day, so I can upload long videos, because I love the long videos. You know, I love watching like Rambo Rap for Life, which is like anywhere between 15 to 45, maybe sometimes an hour and beyond. You know, some of his videos are like 8 hours, like when he's doing his when he's looking through his DVD collection and everything. So I would really like to start uploading bigger videos. Anyway, back to the movie review for Zachary Oberzon's Flooding with Love for the Kid. Here we go. I really love the play-like feel, you know, through the multicam scenario, and having like the matte paintings and like how it was worked in with CGI. It kind of reminds me of like growing up watching, you know, sitcoms. Like my favorite sitcoms, where sometimes they would show like a picture of the house outside that they would zoom in on, which you could tell was a picture, and you know, then it would cut to the play-like scenario that is going on inside the dwelling or inside the house or wherever the show takes place. So I really loved how it felt like a movie, but at the same time it felt like a play. But at the same time, it immersed you in this whole other world around it. You know, that painstaking and arduous development process that he had to go through, you know, filming everybody separate and over a long span of time, maybe almost a year. It really brings the movie to a whole new level. It really, like how everything is mixed, it really gives the film its own look and its own feel and its own vibe and vibrance. Like it really, it's hard to explain, but it really, you can tell that it's a labor of love, and you can tell that it's just the forming of everything, the culmination really sparks a unique look for the film. Though it's an adaptation, the presence really comes across as original. You know, I really loved it. And touching on the personalities, I loved the different personalities that Zach brought to it. You know, he really did act out a different character for every character. And every one of those characters, you know, each film separately, you know, how hard it must have been to do. You know, it really played on, because it's funny, but even though I'm watching the same person, there was no point in the film where I thought I was watching one person. You know, it just felt like I was watching different people all the time. And that's just great acting. You know, that's fucking awesome acting. Like, Zachary's acting has such a range. You know, it's its own unique range to it that just made it really great. I loved like the inserts of the scenery pictures. You know, some are vintage, I think. You know, to promote the timepiece setting, you know, representing the early 1970s era. I loved how he did the rash scene where he punks out the judge. You know, because I love that in the book, and seeing him do that, you know, it just brought a smile to my face. The scars and the practical design, I really love that too. Like, at one point there's like, he has a bruise, and the bruise is just so viable. Like, everyone's scar tissue makeup effects were really good, like Troutman and Rambo also. And I was thinking that watching it, that must have been hard for him to like get around to his back to do. In the documentary, he actually talks about that. And the CGI, I found the various versions of CGI was appropriate. You know, I found like the practical devices, like, how should I say? I always think it's a good idea when you start off practical and use the CGI to enhance the practical. And they did that here. You know, Zack did that here. And I thought it really came across. And it really fit. So I really found that the CGI helped to change the practical devices in a positive way. You know, this is a prime example of why CGI originated in film to begin with. And, you know, add to that it helped also to bring depth to the actors, you know, to the different to the actor, to Zachary, as he portrayed like 24 different characters. So the green screen really is appropriate for pretty much all the scenes in the movie. The shower flashback scene, I loved how both parts in time were filmed in the same place. It really added to the paranoia and humiliation in the scene from the novel. And thank you for the snake and excrement part. It's both really daring and keeps it like hardcore labor of love for the novel. I think the snake scene was my first actual favorite part from the novel, and I really loved how you put it together in the movie. It was spot on, man. It was great. It was such a great piece. And once again, like the CGI that we're gonna get into, apart from the shower scene, really helped to enhance the practical design of the film. It really brought it all the way. So, yeah, I love that. I love that shower excerpt. That was really cool.